Welcome back to the channel. Today we're in the 7-Bar Salvage Junkyard. I'm going to show y'all my original flat fender. We'll do a little walk around. I'm going to tell y'all the story of how I got it. Okay, so this is a 46-47 CJ2A. This is the first flat fender I ever bought, and this is the Jeep that got me into these old Willys flat fenders. So I actually bought this Jeep at a yard sale for 200 bucks. And it's pretty much the way you see it now. It was a body, the front clip, and then the frames over here. I'll show you that in a minute. And as soon as I bought it, I was on the hunt for the parts because it was exactly the way you see it, just a strip body. It's almost like somebody parted it out to fix up another Jeep. So let's walk on over here and I'll show you the axles I got for it, and I'll tell you the story behind those. So like I said, with the CJ2A, I got this frame. And I believe this is the original frame to the Jeep. I don't think the body had ever been off of it. But these axles are not CJ2 axles. These are actually CJ3B axles. And I found these, a guy about 20 minutes up the road from me. He had this old 3B that he bought. It was like military surplus or something. And he's super cool Jeep dude. He actually, I ended up buying like a Cherokee and a Wagoneer and a J truck and a CJ5. He was just ready to get out of the Jeep business, and he sold me a bunch of really cool stuff, and just a neat old Jeep guy. So these axles came out at 3B, and I'll throw a picture up there to show you. But this guy actually took the front half of a 3B and scabbed on the rear part of like an MG midget. And he created this weird little Jeep car thing. I halfway kind of hate that I cut it up and parted it out now because it was just so wild looking. That's what, you know, people, they make these old Jeeps just work for whatever their purpose was. His purpose was cruising around the farm and teaching his kids how to drive stick. Okay, so that's the story behind these axles. Now I'm going to tell you about where I found the transmission for this thing. Okay, so here's the transmission and transfer case for the 2A. So it's just a stock T90 Spicer 18 transfer case. And I actually got this from the same guy I got that MG 3B thing from. And the deal was I had to buy everything that said Jeep on it in order to get this. And the reason I wanted this at the time is because the gears and the shifter and everything still move. And he had actually kept this in the barn in the dry, and he would come out regularly and shift everything to keep it all moving. So even though all this moves and, you know, it seems to be in good shape, just a little dirty, this is probably something you'll see pop up on the channel. Just a quick, you know, T90 rebuild inspection, Spicer 18 rebuild inspection. These are a lot of fun to go through. They're not that hard. They're pretty, you know, affordable to rebuild. So this is the transmission I plan on using, the transfer case, and be looking for this for a future video on the channel. Okay, y'all, so here it is. The legendary L134 Go Devil engine, the flathead 4-cylinder engine that won the war. And they use these things all the way up till the 3As, and they have learned every bit of the reputation they have. So the way I actually came across this, I bought that 2A, it was probably like in August, and then in September we went up to Kentucky to see some family. And of course I was still hunting everything. I didn't have any parts for that yet. So driving around my wife's grandma's neighborhood, I just happened to see like just the front, just a little section of a Jeep, of like a flat fender Jeep poking out under a tarp, kind of back up beside a garage. I thought, well, that might be a Jeep guy. So I went up, knocked on the door, talked to him. Sure enough, he was a cool old Jeep dude. He was one of those guys that, like, back in the 70s and 80s, he was swapping in the 350s and, you know, putting in the small block Chevys and everything and making his own adapter plates. He had a really cool 3B on Scout axles, actually, that he had just finished building. So me and him got to talking, and I was telling him, you know, I just bought a 2A and the parts I was looking for. And he goes, oh, well, this 3A out here, I just swapped in a F134 engine to get the, you know, the extra horsepower. And I said, well, what'd you do with the original engine? He said, well, it's sitting over here in the garage. So we walk over there and look, and sure enough, this engine is sitting in his garage. He said it was just running a few months ago. He said he was just driving on it a few months ago. He had no use for it. He was kind of, you know, getting towards the end of working on his Jeeps, and he was just gonna drive and enjoy the ones he had. And so me and him struck a deal, and I came home with this engine. And so this is probably an engine you'll see pop up on the channel eventually, because it needs a new paint job. It's just kind of been sprayed, you know, rattle can painted. It's got some green under it and the orange. It's got several leaks. I'm missing like the water pump up here. It's gone. The fuel pump's gone. The generator's gone. He did throw in the original carburetor with it, or a carburetor for it. So I do have that. Probably go ahead and just rebuild it, check it out. My plan for this is to tear it all down, strip all the paint off, clean everything up, do a dingle ball hung, inspect everything, just freshen it up with new gaskets, have it ready to just, drop into the 2A. So not a full rebuild, just a nice freshen up, low buck backyard build. Yeah, so that's the story on how I come across this L134. Okay, so that's the story of this Jeep. So one piece at a time, I've got everything I need to put this thing back together. And honestly, this tub is in a lot better shape than the 3B was when I started on it. I probably should have started on this Jeep first. And from time to time, I just think about this Jeep sitting up here and I'm like, man, I've got to get back to that thing. And I even joked with one of my friends about selling it to him one piece at a time, because I've literally got everything I need to put this Jeep back together and just having the time to do it. So I hope y'all have enjoyed hearing the story about this old Jeep. It's been so much fun finding all the parts for it. I've met some of the coolest old Jeep guys. And that's what's neat about these old Jeeps. I mean, the relationships you get to make and the people you meet and the places you go. So hopefully this will be a future project build for the channel. Like I said, I've got everything to put together. So you can comment down below, check me out on Instagram. Let me know what you would do to it. Should I go bone stock back? Should I do some kind of crazy crawler build? Just let me know in the comments what you think about it. If you know anything about it. It looks like it was some kind of Army Reserve type Jeep. I don't know what the letters and numbers on the side mean, so if you know anything about that, let me know. Also, if you noticed in the video, we've got merch. If you'd like to have a hat, I've got just a very limited supply of these. So you can hit me up on Instagram or comment down below, and we'll fix you up with one. So I appreciate y'all checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.